All right, welcome to IA208. We're going to talk about wiring the actual PLC that we're using in this course in 2022, the spring. This MicroLogix PLC is a standalone PLC with its own built-in I/O. That's inputs and outputs that are built right into the same box. Now, we have talked about PLCs with rack mounts I/O, where the I/O drops into slots. For instance, this style of PLC has got slots where we can add different inputs and outputs. And there are rack mounts like the SLC 500 with much bigger racks where you add whole racks filled with I/O, usually 16 inputs or outputs per rack, either AC, DC, or a mix. This particular PLC, the Allen Bradley MicroLogix1000 analog, has a total of 12 inputs. Now we know that they're DC inputs because on the top rail where we've got our input connections, the common is labeled DC common. That's very important. We know we've got a total of 8 outputs, and they're down here, and they're set up with several different commons. Output 0 has got an AC/DC indicator. Same thing with output 1, and output 2 and 3 have their own same common, and 4 through 7 have their own same in common. They're labeled AC/DC. That means these outputs can handle both AC and DC power. And indeed, we see that here below the MicroLogix1000 analog, it says DC in, relay, analog I/O, and DC power. Those are all the specifications for this particular model of the MicroLogix1000. We can tell what model number it is by looking at the end of the PC. We can see a sticker that tells me that this is model number 1761-L20BWB-5A. And I can use that information when I look up the model number manual online if I want to. That'll tell me how to do all the wiring for this particular PLC. This also gives me a serial number, which might be useful if I need to call for tech support.